This right here is the reMarkable Paper Pro, and this right here is the reMarkable Paper Pro Move. And I've been using this one for the last 2 to 3 months and wanted to share my full breakdown of whether it's the right one to go for, giving you all the insights from my last 2 to 3 months of using it as my daily driver. Welcome to the channel, folks. My name's Francesco. If you're new here, do subscribe. But also, if you want to check out the reMarkable, you can find it linked in the description. There'll be all the products available. And if you're interested, you can go through my link. But today's video, I'm going to give you all my insights from using these, the good, the bad, and everything else in between. So I think the first place to start here is the hardware. Now, this is dramatically smaller as a device than the previous version, or not the previous version, the Paper Pro, which is a full-sized paper tablet, pretty much the size of the reMarkable 2, which is its predecessor. This in itself, the Paper Pro Move, is its own separate product. It's like its own unit, and in itself, it's a really nice format. When I first saw this come out, I actually was more excited than I've ever been for any reMarkable product to come out, mainly because of the size and the form factor. Now, I will explain why this one attracted me most when I saw it. Because when I'm in a coffee shop or I'm out and about and I want to take this one with me, it's huge. Now, it's thin, but it's big. It's like taking an iPad out with you. And sometimes if you've got a laptop on the desk already and you're trying to bring this with you, it can be quite a big, space to use. And also feels like a lot of tech that you're bringing sometimes. Now, there are definite advantages to this, which I will discuss a little bit of a comparison between the Pro and the Move if you're choosing between those two a little bit later. But there's definite benefit to this in that size and form factor. But this feels, or initially I saw, feels like the good match. So the one thing that is slightly different from the Paper Pro to this is they're pretty much the same in terms of feel and design, but the back is slightly more matted. You can almost sense that it's a slightly more plasticky type material on the back. They still have these sort of ledges so that they can hold when you're pushing down on a flat area, which is really nice because it gives you that grip and that feedback. And there's not really much of a change aside from that, and obviously the form factor. Now, one of the things that you definitely get used to straight away is if you're coming from a previous reMarkable product like the paper tablets, like the Pro or the reMarkable 1 or 2, then the size is a definite huge shift. It's almost like somebody squeezed your reMarkable experience into a much smaller form factor. However, if you're somebody that's coming completely from nowhere, like no experience with any reMarkable products, the size is actually really nice because you get used to it fairly fast. Now, the one thing that they've done is they've made the software match to this, but there are some technicalities which I didn't like, which I'll talk about later. So before we move on to the software side of stuff, it did come with a few different things. Obviously, the pen is now a nice bonus that it comes with it, and it's also the magnet one with the eraser on the other side. I loved the eraser in the Pro, and I almost think it's one of these things that you can't go back once you've had it because it's so easy to use just to rub out stuff using this side, and the nibs on these don't tend to run out often. So this was the previous nib replacer. You would bend this and then put the nib through here. But in this new version of the Paper Pro, or with this pen in general, they have this. And I feel like Bruce Wayne when I'm opening this. You know, when he's like, yeah, of course we do, Mr. Wayne, or Morgan Freeman says that in the film, and you just click them in, and it does feel very cool, very Batman-like. And it does come with a really nice quality case there. So I was impressed with this. However, wasn't as impressed with the Folio option. Now, I'm somebody that probably doesn't like having a case on because I feel like it moves away from the design and things like that. But I actually preferred the case on the Paper Pro large version. It's probably not the official name. But I didn't like the case on this version. Maybe it's the color, but I just didn't like how it fits. There's probably no way that you can improve this, but I think it's just the general feel, the design, and this, I don't know. It feels a little bit like you're hiding away such a beautiful device, and I don't know. just my experience. So now I've talked about accessories, I want to talk about the practicalities of using this in everyday life. So I said I take this to the coffee shop quite a lot. And one of the things that I love now is actually using my laptop next to my reMarkable Paper Pro Move. It's so much better because I don't have to worry about the unit falling off the edge or being like partially off the edge. I get literally good amount of space and I can write lists and sketch stuff and have the space I need while still having my laptop, which is a practicality. And the other aspect is that this is so much more portable to bring in a bag with you compared to the larger screen devices. It's just easier. Like if I'm on a soft play on a Sunday with the kids, and I want a little bit of time to myself, but I don't want to bring the laptop because that looks way too much, or I don't want to be on my phone. This is a really nice form factor to be able to bring along to a coffee shop, bring along to the soft play. So I feel like this is nicer in terms of its size, its portability, than a lot of what the other options are. However, I do not agree with some of the marketing where I've seen it in the breast pocket of people or in the pocket or back pocket. It just feels like it won't fit. At least in my pockets, it feels like I'm going to snap the thing if I put it in there. So I would just be aware that it probably does need a separate bag if you're bringing it, unless you're just bringing it like this and holding it around. It's totally fine. It definitely is a huge increase in the amount I'm using it because of the portability of it, if that makes sense. So let's talk about performance, software, and those sort of things. So one of the things I think this one does well is the speed of it is exact same as the other units. I found that the general use of the pen was just same performance as previous reMarkables. The software is brilliant. Every time I tend to open the reMarkable these days, maybe if it's like every week, I tend to feel like I get an update. Their release and updates are really, really good. It feels like at least every single 1 to 2 weeks, there seems to be something small yet notable about things like shapes or other such smaller software-based features that they continue to enhance. And I really, really like that. Now, there's even something in this version and the Pro version where you can get the reMarkable methods. I'm not yet to use this, but I love the fact that this feature is available now. The only thing that I almost am a little bit annoyed is that you have to go and download these methods into your device to get them. Whereas I feel like some should be, a trending area, so you can pinch and steal some of them. But again, I believe some of them might be behind paywalls. I'm not entirely sure. However, in general, the speed of this is really, really good. Battery life, very good. I feel like it ran slightly faster than this in terms of that, but that I think because I'm using it much more than I am with the Pro version. Now, there is a noticeable difference. When you're using the Pro version, and you want to be able to sketch out something really intricate and go beyond like you would on an A4 piece of paper, you have to be mindful going to an A. It's not even A5 really. It's very slimmed down version of an A5. So you are going from a different form factor. So sometimes I'm not able to get the intricacy of a design, but you do have to zoom in more often into the canvas to be able to make these type of designs. The other thing as well is if you've made design on the larger screens, the only problem sometimes is that it does this weird thing at the top of the page where it indicates that it has been particularly squeezed into that format for you. It's like a little 0.4x and you almost have to zoom in straight away. So it's better almost if you come in completely from a beginner experience to the reMarkable Paper Pro Move, if that makes sense, because there's nothing that will be squeezed down. Everything will be, narrowed down. So one other thing that happened recently is I was using this at a spa and it's posh. And I found that it actually indicated that the temperature was getting higher and it made a notification that the sunlight and the heat obviously was a factor there, which I've never seen before. So again, another nice software update. But I can see even down here now, there's an update to be ready to be installed. So I always tend to get regular good updates from reMarkable if you're on their subscription plan to get everything, of course. So other smaller things that you might need to know, the tilt support is very sensitive on this. Even more, I think, sensitive than the Pro. For example, if I tilt to an angle, it's just going to completely, tilt the product and then I'm always flipping it back. And, I don't like that. but you can, I believe, make that set inside of your settings area so it doesn't do that again. So I think this is a really good point to pause and work out whether you need this or whether you need this. So between these two, I'd probably say this is much better for creative, visual people that require a bit more space and that are open to taking something larger with them. Whereas I think this is better for list-orientated people or those who take notes more linearly, or for example, not visually. So I think this is the perfect companion to focusing on work, whereas this is the perfect creative companion for going beyond. I'm not saying you can't do that with this, just saying this is much better for that in terms of its form factor. I also liked this is much better for those who are more portable as well. And I also get dramatically less questions in places like coffee shops for what this is than that, surprisingly. So this looks more like a Kindle, it's more approachable. If you want less people to ask you questions, then this might be a better bet. If you're open to more people asking you questions, this is probably that option for you. Weird one, but it's true. In terms of, because it's so unique as a form factor. So let's take a look at the reMarkable Paper Pro Move. The name is long. It's very long. I don't particularly like it. I think it's just called reMarkable Pro Move or just the Move. It's quite nice, but I think it's a cracking product. I was really looking forward when I first saw this. I almost went, wow, they've nailed it. This is the perfect form factor that I've been missing in a reMarkable product for ages. Now, I use the other ones pretty regularly, well, before I moved to this, probably at least twice a week, because I like to get things out of my head and these help me to do that. Whereas I probably use this 3 or 4 times a week at least, maybe even 2 or 3 times a day, because it's so much easier to bring along with me and it removes any barriers. For example, I notice as well, if I'm working in the evening, and I don't want to be fully disconnected, then this helps me to sketch down ideas faster instead of going on my phone. So the reMarkable Paper Pro Move, an incredible product in my opinion. They've really nailed this. And I think compared, if you're looking at moving from the reMarkable 2, this is the perfect upgrade. I think, if you're, again, not that creative person, but if you're somebody looking to move from the Pro to this, I'm not sure it's worth it necessarily unless form factor is massively important to you. If you're moving from the reMarkable 1 to this, 10 out of 10. Perfect. It's a great upgrade because you get that quality and the form factor that changes things for you a little bit. So that's my honest breakdown of whether the reMarkable Paper Pro Move is right for you. There are some fantastic videos over on some other channels. Brandon Boswell does some fantastic ones. I believe Brett as well does some great ones. So I'll link those in the description below. They break it down even more, but this is just my opinion of using it for the last 2 to 3 months. So hopefully gave you a better idea. Again, if you want to buy them and check them out, use our link below because it helps us and we obviously get a little bit of a cut like everyone does. But at the same time, those are my honest thoughts on the tool after and knowing that someone who's used pretty much all the reMarkable lineup. So thank you so much, and please do subscribe. I'm sure I'll see you soon, and let's help you find the best tools and software. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all very soon. Cheerio!